National, local, international news, and sport. Tune in to News Punch and Diamond 88.7 FM. News Punch, all about the news.
It's exactly 1 minute gone past the hour of 9 a.m. A very good morning to you. You're tuned in and listening to Diamond 88.7 FM, Ilorin. This is the News Punch, a news and current affairs compilation of topical stories making the headlines this morning. I'm your host on the Wednesday edition. My name is Bisola Oduwole Suleiman. Good morning once again. And here are the headlines trending in the news today. Shatima unveils framework for federal government's nationwide nutrition program. Lagos Calabar Highway will be ready by May 2025, says federal government. Federal government inaugurates task force on EU deforestation regulation. Still in the news, federal government unveils 2024 Transparency Integrity Index assessment. And Wike says Abuja's new bus terminals on track for completion. Rivers crisis for Bara, architect of violence, says Wike. Arsonist behind local government secretariat attacks must face justice for Vara vows. Rivers government sets up committee to probe post-election violence. Head of Service reintroduces civil service anthem for workers. Senate urges Nigerian government to increase allocation to federal universities in 2025 budget. And on the issue of flooding, Senate demands immediate dredging of River Niger, Benue. In Kwara State, Kwara Assembly calls for provision of relief materials for survivors of boat accident in the state. Court affirms Abure as Labour Party's national chairman. Customs acquires surveillance aircraft to combat smuggling activities. And moving on from the local scene to the foreign scene, Kenya's deputy president faces impeachment vote. Tunisian president wins second term with landslide. Israeli military issues further Beirut evacuation orders with reports of a strike on Damascus. Still on the international scene, Floridians flee as destructive Hurricane Milton nears. And in the world of sport, African 2025 qualifier Super Eagles Uyo camp bubbles with 20 players. Wafu on the 20 championship, Flying Eagles hold first training in Ikene. And those are the major headlines making the rounds today. It was compiled and edited by Abiodun Akinwumi. For sponsorship or advert placement, kindly contact our sales and marketing office on 09129294332 or 09077227120. Up next is the Diamond Breakfast Show, where we discuss and have an in-depth analysis on some of the topical stories making the rounds in the news. Don't forget you can follow us by logging onto our website www.diamondfm.net or follow us on all our social media platforms at Diamond87FM on Instagram and Facebook and at Diamond FM Ilorin on YouTube. You can also watch us live via these platforms. My name is Bisola Oduwole Suleiman. The Diamond Breakfast Show commences shortly. Please stay tuned.
Opportunity in this country, I don't lose hope. Oh my God, jackpot.
Leaving the country may not be the solution that you think it is. Don't make leaving Nigeria the only solution to your life's challenges. Japa because you want to, but stop raising it as a solution to national issues that you can work on and fix. Nigeria will always be your home, and together we can make it better.
This message is reaching you from Diamond 88.7 FM Ilorin.
The major talking points in Nigeria are always on the lips of the citizens.
What's going on in this country? Look at smaller countries taking lead and you call yourself giant of Africa. Yeah.
Nigeria don't spoil my business too much. Nigeria is too hard for us. I mean, I want to kill us. Father, not kill us for Nigeria. Oh, please, help us beg them.
They should reduce their expenditure so that they can free enough money for social development.
I wish for a Nigeria where we elect a leader based on competency and not popularity.
On the Diamond Breakfast Show, we place the spotlight on the critical issues in the country.
Government that says they are broke can prioritize construction of an additional runway over education of the people.
How can a government, how can you hold in domain? This is intolerable. It's provocative.
Now, you see, when you look at our democratic journey, we are yet to practice genuine democratic system in Nigeria.
Join us on Mondays to Friday on the DBS from 9 to 10 a.m. The Diamond Breakfast Show, amplifying the voice of the people.
From the studios of Diamond 88.7 FM in Ilorin, this is the Diamond Breakfast Show.
All right, a very good morning to you. It's another wonderful day to be alive, another day to take forth and, go forth and achieve your goals, another day to get up and get your life going. It's Diamond 88.7 FM, your shining supreme station, and this is the Diamond Breakfast Show. This is where we take a look at some of the major stories making the rounds in the news, making the headlines. We have a conversation surrounding it in the studio, and then we also open up our platforms to you, our phone lines, our social media platforms, to also contribute your quota and react to the stories that we've brought forward. My name is Bisola Oduwole Suleiman. I'm your host on the Wednesday edition of the Diamond Breakfast Show. Welcome to the program. Like I said earlier, we talk about issues affecting us as a people, issues affecting us as Nigerians, as Africans, and as people around the world. But basically, most of the time, we talk about issues here in Nigeria, from political to social to economic issues. We dissect these stories in the studio with our guest analyst. And I have joining me in the studio this morning an erudite scholar, a lecturer, and academic, like I love to call them, is a concerned Nigeria, is a public affairs analyst and a social commentator. I have Dr. Sunday Olaifa Adisheko. A very good morning, sir.
Very good morning. Thank you for having me again.
It's good to have you join us on the program today.
Thank
It's
you
been
so
a while
much.
since
Yeah.
I've had you on the program.
Have you?
All right, welcome. This morning, we're taking a look at a couple of stories, ranging from the brain drain in the Nigerian universities. In Nigeria's economy, it's not even just the universities, but of course, this morning, our focus is on Nigerian universities and also the crisis rocking the PDP, the issue in River State, and the statements made by parties concerned. We'll be taking a look at that, and then we'll dive into the petroleum sector this morning. It promises to be an interesting conversation. Do stick around. Don't forget, you can join us via our platforms. You can send a message to this number, 0913-655-6864, 0913-655-6864. That's the number on WhatsApp or SMS. And then you can also call us on 0913-655-6952. Please note that reactions, comments made on this program do not in any way reflect the opinions of Diamond 88.7 FM and the management and staff as well. When you do call in, please ensure that your comments are short and precise and are devoid of any form of name calling, insults, and the likes. This will not be allowed on this platform. Thank you so much. All right, let's quickly move on to the first story. And this is the statement made by the ASU president, that is Professor Emmanuel Oshudike, that about 84 Nigerian lecturers have died between May and August 2024 due to economic hardship and unpaid salaries. It criticizes the government for the way the government has been handling the educational sector, particularly the failure to pay withheld salaries after a previous strike, despite worsening inflation. He also highlighted the impact of poor funding and low wages on lecturers' well-being and the quality of education. ASU is demanding better funding and the resolution of ongoing disputes with the government. We've also heard that there have been calls for an impending strike, and we really hope that doesn't happen, because we know what happened the last time we had a strike like this. It took a toll on the students, the lecturers, and everyone. Even parents were affected, and we're really hoping that government does something. But let's talk about this. Let's talk about how the government has been handling this issue between ASU, the agreements that the previous administration had with ASU, and the implementation of that. We keep saying that government is a continuum, but we have seen cases whereby an administration agrees to one thing with a particular party, and then a new administration comes in and does not, let's say, work on this agreement, or does not really take charge of whatever agreements that the previous administration has had. Why is it difficult for the government to come to an agreement with ASU or work on the existing agreements that the previous administration has had at this point?
Well, thank you for having me. Like I said the other time, I'm entitled to my opinion. I want to always start with that Diamond, because a lot of guys are listening now. Whatever I say, they will come down, and then it will be a topic for discussion again when we meet. That you said this and you said that. So I'm entitled to my opinion always.
All right.
You see, thank God I'm a lecturer myself, and I may not be a card carrier of ASU, but at least I'm a yellow dog in that union, because whatever they do affects me one way or the other. Well, I want to say that we are flying on the same spot, and we are, landing on the same spot every time. And it's unfortunate that the government knows exactly what is wrong, and they kept on repeating the same thing, especially when it has to do with higher institution. And unfortunately, when a sector is wrong, you can, some of these sectors, you can see the side effect almost immediately. But I used to tell people that education is not like that. it will have a long-lasting effect on the economy, on the value people hold, and everything in the country. That's why serious action must be taken about it. Government has seen this before, that education is a key sector, and they know what to do, and they are not doing it. Like you said about the agreement, if you see the campaigning process during Buhari promised to, agree to every other thing that Jonathan failed to do. But he got there. There's something about that seat. Once you get there, you forget everything and begin to do something that people will now be saying, was it not the same man that was using this as a point to campaign to us? Tinubu was very specific about it. I have some video clips of where Tinubu came out playing that when he becomes the president of the country, the student will have 4 years in that, no strike. He will pay every backlog. He will make sure lecturers are taken care of. And for the first 15 years, lecturers' salary in Nigeria has never been reviewed. And in fact, apart from that, you will now see that when you see any legislature coming in, a probably new government from new party, the first thing they do is to get to review the salary of public office holder like ministers and House of Assembly members and national members. But that of teachers are always not touched. More annoying thing is that ASUs are always engaging these strike actions, and government are not taking care of it. They are not even looking at the strike. The strike has become a useless weapon now that is not even bringing any
normal
results. And it's coming in year out like that. Nobody is doing anything to it. My more important worry is that in the National Assembly, both at the House of Rep and House of Senate, you can go there and count the numbers of people that are from academics that are there as representatives or senators.
All right.
And there in their numbers, doctors, professors that have worked in the university system, in the educational system, that knows the rot, and yet they will get there and they will end up living after 4 years without sponsoring one bill about education. So it's a good thing that we have somebody who is now looking at it, that is becoming a concern, and who is raising up now. But it should not be a point of discussion alone. Just like the House of, the Senate is now coming up with it. They will still talk about it on the floor, and then nothing will be done until that is what I said. We just will fly in the